Almost everyone I talk to here in Haiti about the impact of the earthquake on HIV/AIDS begins to speak about what appears to be an increase, probably in sexual activity within the camps because of the conditions of the camps. And there's no question about it. It seems as if there's a feeling that there's far more sexual activity going on, far more people who are having sex. One doctor says that the theory is that the people are in the camps, they have no jobs, they have nowhere to go to, and the only pleasure they can get and the only kind of diversion they can get is to have sex, and so they have sex. Another doctor talked about people telling her that, in fact, they've survived the earthquake, they've seen so much death around them, and this is one way to affirm their living and their identity, and so they have sex. And this doctor also told me that when she was there right after the earthquake, 4 days after the earthquake, some people were asking for water, some for food, but most of the young men were asking for condoms. And she wondered, why are they asking for condoms at this time? There is a growing sense that within these camps, people are living without the security, without the patterns, and without the rituals of their normal community life. But it gets more complicated and more challenging than that. A doctor said to me that she was talking to a woman who was asking her questions about some choices that she had to make. And this woman asked the question, can you help me with food? And can you help me with the school fees for my children? Can you help me to look after my condition and my clothes? Because if you can't as a doctor, I have to find it some other place. And she said, I'll ask you a question. Should I then give up the relationship that I'm having with several men who are willing to supply this to me, who are willing to supply this help to me? And the doctor was a little stunned because she wasn't sure how she could answer that. The point is that because of the breakdown in the social structures that comes with displacement and that comes with this refugee status, because the walls, the literal walls of security in homes have been removed, because of the diminishing of privacy and the freedom for people to feel at home and feel secure, far more people are having greater contact with each other. And chances are that there's greater sexual activity taking place. The challenge of that, of course, is what one doctor also said to me. He said, laughingly, but with a deep sense of irony, he said he went back home to his community recently, and virtually every woman who could be pregnant is now noticeably pregnant. And all of this would have happened after the earthquake. But the underlying question is, what is happening in terms of the spreading of the HIV virus? What is happening in terms of protection? Nobody yet has statistics that are definite to say whether or not the HIV virus has begun to spread more rapidly since the earthquake. It's still early days yet. But there's no question that most of the doctors, most of the people working in HIV, most of the staff are deeply concerned. And above all, most of the patients themselves are admitting that this is a reality that they have to face. In a year or two, we'll begin to see whether the impact of the earthquake has been such that there's been a rise in the transmission of HIV/AIDS. The hope is that it is not so, but the evidence is beginning to pile up, suggesting that this might be the case.